Hi loves, welcome to Style with Helisa. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to draft a half basic bodice, and here I'll be using this Ankara print. You can use a drafting paper as well. So you need your ruler, your tape roll, your chalk, and also your scissors. And also, if you are watching this video for the very first time, or you came across this our channel for the very first time, do well to subscribe to our channel, like, and also click on the notification bell to always be notified whenever we drop a new video or a new tutorial. Thank you so much. So here is the measurement needed in achieving these bodies. So now we are going to be drawing our borderline, and I would like to I'll be using 1 inch as my borderline. So I'm marking the 1 inch now, marking it on the sides. I know it will be very easy for us to connect the lines together. So after rolling out your borderline, the next thing to mark is to mark the length of your bodice, and here I'll be using the length of 16 inches, marking 16 inches and then adding 1 inch allowance to make it 17 inches. So we're going to mark it straight, connect the dots together like so. After connecting the lines together, so the next thing we are going to do is to measure our shoulder line. So here we're learning how to measure our shoulder to shoulder measurement. So measuring our shoulder to shoulder measurement from one shoulder to the other shoulder on a straight platter, on a straight line. So after measuring our shoulder, we'll go on and measure our round bust, our bust circumference. So ensure that it is not too tight and it is not too loose. So you measure your round bust circumference. As you can see, ensure that it is sitting at the middle of your bust, that is the nipple point round around your bodies. So next, after this bust circumference, we'll go on and measure our waist circumference, as we have done for the bust. Not too tight and not too loose. Ensure that it fits well. At least you can breathe properly, it's comfortable. So we measure our waist circumference like so, as you can see. And then the next one is we measure our bust point. So for your bust point is from your shoulder to your nipple point, from your shoulder to your nipple point. So that is how you get your bust point measurement. So after your bust point measurement, we go on and measure our nipple to nipple measurement. Sometimes we call it bust span. So our nipple to nipple measurement, ensure that your nipple is sitting well, or your client's nipple is sitting well. So you put the tape on a nipple and then locate the other nipple and put the tape roll on the other nipple to get your actual nipple to nipple measurement. So after, we'll go ahead and measure take our measurements on our drafting piece. So now we'll go on and measure our shoulder measurement, which is 16 inches. So your 16 inches divided by 2, which is going to give us 8 inches. So I'm marking out 8 inches for our shoulder measurement. After that, I'm going ahead to mark my neck measurement, my neck width and my neck depth. So my neck width, I'll be using 3.5 inches as a standard neck width measurement. So you use 3.5 inches for your neck width, and then the depth of 1.5. This is for the neck depth of the back basic bodice. I'm using 1.5 inches. You can use 1 inches depending on how low you want the neck depth to be. So then we're using freehand, so I'm going to rule it together like a rectangular shape. So if you like, you can use your curve. If you have a curve ruler, you can use your curve ruler. And in case you don't have the curve ruler, you can use your freehand. So we'll be using our freehand in this video. So I've connected the lines together to make it look like a rectangle. So here I'm going to just extend it out with 0.75 inches, and then I'm going to curve it out as you can see me doing. So next I'll be measuring my chest line, and my chest line is 8.5 inches. So you can decide to measure that as well, taking the tape from your shoulder to the upper part of your breast, like not touching your breast, to the upper part of your breast where your cleavage start from. So that is your chest line. So taking that, I have 8.5 inches. So next I'm going to measure my armhole measurements, like so as you see me doing, and then afterwards I am going to mark my armhole measurement, which is the same 8.5 inches. So, and before then I'm going to mark 1 inch down from my borderline as my shoulder slope. So I'm going to connect it to the neckline as you see me doing, and then I'll connect my shoulder armhole line from the borderline down to the chest line as you see me doing. So the shaded parts from between the borderline and the shoulder slope is going out. I'm crossing it out. So next I'm going to mark my bust circumference on my pattern, and so our bust circumference is 38 inches. So 38 inches divided by 4. At first I divided it by 2, and then my result I divide it by 2 again. That makes it in 4 places using my tape as you see me doing. So my result, I input it on my chest line, which is 9.5 inches. Also next we're going to divide our armhole line into 2. So what I did here is marking it from removing the 1 inch we have marked for the shoulder slope, and then folding my tape to get the half measurement of our shoulder slope. So you mark where the half of the armhole length, where it reaches, you mark it, and then we go inward by half an inch just to get a balanced armhole curve, and then from there we are going to connect it to the shoulder slope, as you can see, and then we are going to get the curve using our curve ruler to get the curve. So you're going to curve it out at first from the line, and then you extend it inward and get the proper full curve for your armhole. So from where we mark our bust circumference, so we are going to add 1.5 inch, or you can add 1 inches, but I prefer using 1.5 inches to be on the safer side to make the clothes free and still durable and fitted. So we are marking 1.5 inch for this. So while on the waist measurement, we are going to divide our waist circumference, which is 30 into 4, and then that is giving us 7.5 inches. So we are marking 7.5 inches on our waistline and also adding 1.5 inch allowance to it. Then we connect both the bust circumference and the waist circumference. We connect the lines together. So looking at this is a bodice without adding that. This is just a bodice if you don't want a dart. So if you want a dart, if you want to be adding that to your bodice, so let's go straight to adding that to our bodice. So if you're adding that to your body, the first thing you need to do is to mark your bust point, that is your shoulder to your nipple point, and that is 10 inches. So marking our bust point, you're going to roll that out, and then from there we'll go to the next one, which is dividing our nipple to nipple, which is 8 inches. So our 8 inches divided by 2, we have 4 inches, but we are going to be adding 1/2 inch to it for seam allowance. So we are going to be marking 4.5 from our waistline. So we mark 4.5, and then we go to our bust point line. So from there also we will measure 4.5 inches, as you see me doing, measuring 4.5 inches. So you connect the line together, you mark a straight line from your bust point to your waist. So after that, you're going to come down from your bust point line by 1 inches. On our waistline, we are going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides, 1/2 inches on both sides of that our line, the line we marked straight from our bust point to the waist. So you're marking 1/2 inch on both sides, as you see me do. Then we connect the lines together to the under bust point measurement that we marked. So after connecting it together, this is exactly what our dart is going to look like. This is our dart intake. After connecting the lines together, we are going to bring out on our waistline measurement 1/2 inch. We are going to mark 1/2 inch just to replicate the dart intake that we have taken inside the bodice. So we are marking 1/2 inch, and then we are going to connect it straight to our bust measurement. So we are not adding anything to the bust, only on the waistline. That is where we are adding an extra allowance. So after that, you're going to connect it directly to your bust circumference, like I said earlier. So afterwards, you go to your neckline. On our neckline, we don't forget that we only drafted the back neckline. So this is just for the back and the front at the same time. So now we are going to draft the front neckline now. So the front neckline, don't forget that our neck width is 3.5 inches. So our neck depth as well will be 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches. So next we're going to connect the lines together as we have done for the back measurement. So we are connecting the lines together. Don't forget it's freehand. We are using freehand, so we're making it like a square shape, and then we're coming up from that angle by 1 inches. The back on we use is 0.75, while for the front we are using 1 inches, as you see me doing. So marking our 1 inch, you just have to curve in, connect the curves from the edge, from the breadth to the width as well. Just connect it like so. So guys, our half basic bodice is finally ready. So this is all of it. So if you want to add a zipper to your back bodice, the back bodice, you can add extra 1 inches allowance at the front before you start marking out your back bodice. But if you want to leave it like this, then that means you want to add a button with a hole at the back of the neckline. So this is just all of it for the half basic bodice. I hope you find this tutorial really helpful, and thank you so much for watching this far. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and also click on the notification bell to always get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much. So here I'm going to cut out our bodice and from the remaining part of the fabric, and then show you how it looks like. So this is the final look of our basic bodice. Thank you so much for watching. See you in our next video. Bye.